Well, howdy friends, Brian Flechhsig of Mad River Outfitters of the Midwest Fly Fishing Schools, and it's mid-November 2019. I'm here on my home river, the Mad River, one of my favorite times of year to fish. The leaves are starting to clear out. The fish are kind of on the move and putting on the feed for the winter season. And anyway, I wanted to take some time today and tell you about two new products that have just come out here in fall of 2019 that are on the docket for 2020, and they are in the shop now. And we all know how popular the Euro style or tight line nymphing has become. It's become very important to me here on the Mad. I'm fishing a lot of the jig style tungsten flies, trailing a soft hackle behind them, of course. But two new products that I want to point out, and this is called the Euro Nymph Shorty, and then Scientific Anglers has their Euro Nymph Kit. Okay, basically the Euro Nymph Shorty is just 20 foot of level fly line, of course very sensitive and designed for Euro nymphing, called a Euro Nymph tip. It comes with loops in either end, so you can loop it right onto the tip of a floating line and turn your rig into an instant Euro Nymph rig in no time. It is olive on one end, orange on the other. I typically wind up using the orange side of it. The Scientific Anglers Euro Nymph Kit, basically the same thing. Although it's just kind of a mint green color, no difference in the color, but 20 foot looped at either end, specifically designed for Euro nymphing. It comes with the rigging foam that you can put the leader or the fly line on there as well. And the Scientific Anglers kit comes with this new Scientific Anglers Absolute Euro Nymph leader. I tend to tie my own leaders. I like a very thin butt section off these. The 12-pound Amnesia works perfectly. And then I run something like 0x, 2x down to the tippet ring. And then of course run my tippet off that, depending on the size of the fly and the depth of the water. So I'll also mention this is very, very helpful when I'm using my TFO drift rod. The TFO drift rod has become one of my favorite fishing tools. And the cool thing about it is I can fish it as a 9-foot 3-weight with a weight forward floating line. And I think I'm using either the Wolf Triangle Taper or the Rio light line is what I'm using on here. And at the 9-foot length, I can fish this as a dry fly rod. And then if I want to turn around and Euro nymph, now I don't have to pull the spool off and put my whole Euro rig on there. I can simply loop that tip onto the tip of the weight forward fly line. There I've got a Euro nymph line and plenty of it. And then I can add my different sections on the TFO drift rod and rig it up and turn right around and not have to change spools, not have to change anything. And I can go to a 10-foot, 11-foot, or even a 12-foot configuration. So this has worked out really well. So let's say, for example, if I'm fishing a dry fly, that's not working. I decide that I want to switch to a Euro nymph rig. Typically, I would have had to either have another rod with me. Of course, when I'm in my boat, I've got several of them rigged up. But when I'm on foot, let's say I've got my 8.5-foot 4-weight dry fly rod. Of course, not the optimal Euro nymphing rod, but it can be done, especially on a smaller river like this. So I can just take off my dry fly leader. I can loop on that Euro nymph line, loop on a Euro nymph leader. It takes me just a matter of minutes. And then tie on my tippet onto the tippet ring, and off I go. And I can turn this outfit into a Euro nymph outfit. Same deal here. I still fish a lot of standard indicator rigs. I've got, of course, this is my Sage ESN, my European style nymphing rod. I also have the TFO drift rod that I use a lot. And I like to fish a lot of larger nymphs, crane fly larva, a nymph called a Big Nasty I've been fishing today. And I'll fish those on a standard, my standard nymph leader. and with a 10-foot rod, and I still use an indicator. Yeah, I know, old-fashioned, and I put split shot up in front of the fly. And it's just a deadly rig here on the river, especially this time of year. A large nymph fished nice and slow through the pools with a fair amount of split shot, and I still like to have that indicator on there. But there are times when I want to switch over to that Euro style tight lining with the jig fly, and then I'll trail a soft tackle behind it. That can also be deadly 365 days a year, where I can simply take off this leader. I can loop on either this Euro Nymph Shorty or the Scientific Angler's version, put on an appropriate leader, and turn this into a simple Euro Nymph rig. I think they're going to be really popular products, very useful, especially for those of us that are walking and wading with just one rod in hand. The Euro Nymph Shorty from Rio just comes as is. Like I told you, it's 2 colors, which I find helpful. I carry the Loon rigging foams, and I wrap this on there. The Scientific Angler's kit, it comes with basically a rigging foam that you can either rig your leader on or the leader and the line on as well. And it comes with the line, the rigging foam, and the leader. The Rio just comes with the line itself. The Scientific Angler's Euro Nymph kit with the leader sells for $24.95, and I believe the Euro Nymph Shorty from Rio sells for $29.95. So it's pretty important. I mentioned the leader that I use. I'll give you a hint. This is my 4-weight ESN, Sage ESN, and I typically go about 3 foot of 15-pound amnesia. I like the red amnesia, I can see it better, and I believe that's 15 thousandths in diameter, or excuse me, 17 thousandths in diameter in the 15-pound, which kits up perfectly with a 4-weight or a 5-weight, which is usually what I'm using. And then I'll go 2 foot of 11 thousandths, I'll go 2 foot of 9 thousandths, I'll tie a tippet ring, and I'm usually running 3X, 4X, 5X tippet depending on the fly. So, but it's really important that when you switch to this, the Euro style lines, they're going to require a leader with a much thinner diameter butt section. So I'll either buy the Euro Nymph leaders, or again, I tie my own, but I go down to the 12-pound amnesia. So there you go, just a couple of cool new products that I thought a lot of people might be interested in. The Euro Nymph Shorty from Rio or the Euro Nymph kit from Scientific Anglers. Of course, you can check them out at madriveroutfitters.com. Be sure to stay tuned, subscribe, like the video, all those things that you all know how to do. And thanks for being here. If you like this video, hit subscribe. It helps out a lot. And check out these videos. We think you might like them too.